Hey everyone, my name's Shawn. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter fame. Welcome to Avatar: The Last Podcasters. That was like the cleanest, most professional intro we've ever done. I'm very proud of us. Today we're talking about, I don't know how to word this right yet, I'm still thinking about it. What would the avatars have thought of the other avatars? Title's a work in progress, but that's the spirit of the idea here. But before we get to that, as always, Chris, hi, how are you? How you doing?
My clickbait title is "What Avatars Hate Each Other."
Oh,
Because,
that's good. Which avatars hate each other? Yep, that's it. That's what's going on. Um, what?
clickbait.
Yeah, I think that's like instant. Like I would click on that. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
people like negative. It's not because which avatars love each other? Like, well, they all love each other, but
That
which avatars hate
they're
each other?
required by the spirit of being an avatar to at least pretend to like each other.
Uh,
Chris, how you doing?
I am doing good. I am getting back into doing custom action figures. Sometimes I just take a break, a like a month, 4 month, 5 month long hiatus from it, and I'm back in it.
Like you do.
And yeah, and in doing so, I always have something to watch in the background. I've been binging through ABC's The Rookie, and that has been uh pretty good. I've been really entertained by it. And sometimes it's like gets deep and emotional stuff. Sometimes it's just like goofy stuff happening. Like I told you before, like one cold open would be like, ah, best friend was just killed and murdered. Like, we gotta go get the son of a bitch who did it. And then the next one would be like, oh, we pulled over a car and they got bees. Oh, we're getting chased by bees.
They pulled over Chris Farley and David Spade and Tommy Boy at bees.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh, More interesting enough that. Oh, I'm sorry if you want to react to that.
no, I'm
Or
waiting
which?
on
Okay.
waiting to hear more about this show. I probably won't watch.
That's all I was gonna say about the show.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Wait, hey, Chris, college football started officially today. Like while we're talking, not officially, officially last week, but kind of really today while we're talking. And football is my favorite time of year, and my favorite thing, my favorite state of being, is if me and my wife are both in this room. The chair closer to me is my chair, and the chair farther away is her chair. There's two TVs up here, and one has a football game with the volume on, and the other either has something that my wife cares about or a video game. And if the other doesn't have a video game, then I hold the Switch in my lap while the other has something that my wife cares about. That's not, she likes football, but she prefers volleyball. And then, and that's like my favorite uh, meditative space is having way too much entertainment in front of me. So it's that time of year again, very excited. And
Mm.
yeah, I've already watched multiple football games in the past week. Very exciting. And also, I watched the Batman movies during the work week because I didn't have very many meetings. So I had the Christian Bale Batman movies on this week, which is always
The
just
Dark Knight trilogy, or the Nolan trilogy, as they're called.
the Nolan trilogy. That's probably the most respectful term, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, a
And,
lot of people say the Dark Knight trilogy,
I mean, I totally
even
get
though the
that, but
first one's
just
called
not
Batman.
having the first in the title. Yeah. But anyway,
That's true.
the Nolan trilogy. And yeah, always a delight. I think I like the third. I care less about the third's flaws than I think a lot of people do. I still really enjoy that. I validated our discussion that we had with John that one time where I think
Mm,
the first is my favorite, but like neck and neck. Like the first is my favorite
yeah.
movie. The Dark Knight is my favorite superhero action movie, I guess, in its own separate way. And that I could like take or leave Christian Bale himself as Batman. It could have been a different Batman, and there probably some other choices would have been fine. But it was great. Love it. Putting those on. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I watched a lot of TV this week, and here I am.
I because it's important. I haven't told you this yet. I meant to touch you this. I started on jury duty Monday,
Nice.
which is really interesting. I'm not even sure how much I can say. I can probably say whatever I want.
Thank you for doing your
Because
civic duty.
one thing, yeah, I am one of those people who are just like I never try and get out of jury duty. I'm always looking forward to it if I can do it, and I've never been even called to come down. Like it's always like call this number the night before, and I call it, and it's like we don't need you. I'm like okay. So like
Do you ever
that's
drop the?
happened like
Is it because I'm black? Do you ever drop that line on them on the other end of the phone? Which is funny because you're
it's
on the
not.
phone. They don't, you know.
It's just a voice recorder. Just a voice recording.
Oh, so it's not going to get much out of that joke, huh? Got
Uh,
it.
but this time there was like 4 trials going on, criminal trials going on in Topeka like one time. So I was actually like involved in jury selection process, which is interesting. The whole process is really interesting. Like it was weird. I've never been in court before, so like it was like judge comes in, all rise. Like, oh crap, we got to rise up, and he's like, all right, sit down.
Very, very formal for no apparent reason.
The judge did make a joke. Some guy was asking if he can get out because they asked like, does anyone have any type of situations that you think you won't be able to serve? And the guy was like, well, I'm getting audited next week by the IRS. And the judge was like, so do you think you can negotiate with the IRS to get it rescheduled? And the guy was like, no. It was like, that was a joke. There's no negotiating with the IRS. It was like, oh, okay.
Bring a little
Nice.
levity into the courtroom. That's nice.
Yeah. No, and that was weird. Everyone was bringing levity to the courtroom. Like,
Somebody's like, somebody's being put on trial for life or something, and the jury's just like,
no,
oh,
Shawn, this was a murder trial.
geez,
Like we
that can't be okay.
yeah, it was and the defendant was there, like, which was I thought was weird too. Like, oh, this is just the jury selection process, but they had the defendant there. Which I thought was
Well, that's
weird.
the best way for the defendant to threaten potential jurors is to be present.
Oh no, I was saying the best way for them to show the defendant before before all the evidence is getting mounted. I like introduce the defendant before evidence and stuff, and there's getting mounted. But so like the way the process goes, so they had like up to 60 of us in there, and like only 42 were actually getting questioned. Like it was like there was 42. That's narrowed down to 42, and asked a bunch of kind of personal questions like who are you, where you live, some whatever. Like those are just preliminary questions. And then some people get taken out, and then I was part of the group that didn't have a number. And like if someone of the 42 was let go, someone like myself, the non-number people would take their spot in this part of the process. I never got to take anyone's spot, which I felt left out. Like I was just watching people the whole time talk. So then once they get it down to like 42, they start questioning them throughout, like asking them just philosophical questions, like what do you think about guns and stuff, or what do you think about this and that. Which one thing I think we're all like want to know that I'm in Kansas, and I think there's a general consensus of like gun rights and stuff, because even though a lot of people would like their range from 1 to 10 or the range from 1 to 5, some said no one was like all the way at 1. Well, no one was all the way at just like Second Amendment, yeah, hurrah, hurrah. There were more like we need to be responsible with these things.
Well,
I was like, huh.
Well, isn't that one of the issues with like a bipartisan system is like, yeah, you might be a 2 and I might be a 4, but we're much closer to the same 3 of like, hey, let's have some more common sense gun laws than we are to a 1 and a 5. You know, like. But you gotta,
I don't blame the bipartisan system. I blame the gun lobby being in the pockets of people.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think most people, like, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say like 80% of people are like, hey, if we enacted these 2, and then you could highlight like 2 or 3 specific like common sense gun law improvements, they wouldn't be like, no, they'd be like, you know what, I get it. It'd be like 20% that would say no, but
yeah.
Anyway.
But another things was like, how would you rate the police and their performance? How would you rate like the judicial system? And I'm kind of glad I didn't get chosen, because I would have been like a lot more negative than other people. Not that negative. I would have been like, once I was like, scale of 1 to 10, how you rate police just in general in America? He was like, you can't choose 5. I probably would have chose 3 or 4 for police, and I would have explained like hey, I think they have a really hard job and stuff, but I just want accountability. I feel like that's what's lacking there, and I would have gone through and I would have explained myself really well. But still a nuanced approach, not just a blatant black and white thing. Judicial system, I would have said 6 out of 10, and I would have brought up there's so many. Oh, he also asked do you think race plays a factor in the judicial system? And if I had to answer that question, I would have been like, well, yeah, I mean that's proven in there. Like, do people get as fair trials as they think they do? Of course, money can buy you the right lawyer and things. And then I would have said, even within the 60 group of us, me as a black man, would I have a fair trial? Because I was the only black man there, like out of 60. Because then afterwards, I looked up in Kansas, like, what is the black percentage? Like, maybe this is the right percentage. It's like 10. The black population in Kansas is like, or in Topeka, is like 10%. So even if I say half of that is black male, there should at least been 2 other black men
Yeah.
in there.
Do you mind if I ask, and I know you got to presume a little bit, what about other ethnicity representations? Anything? I know you got to make some assumption to some degree, but
what their percentages or what?
Just if there was a couple of people of other ethnicities represented.
Oh, there's one Asian dude.
Unless you don't feel like answering, of course.
There was one. He seemed Hispanic. Other than that, was. When it comes to minorities, there was 5 in total. Yeah, about 5. Oh, now I saw Marlo there, which was funny.
Oh, Marlo, nice. It's been a lot of years since I thought about her.
I think she barely escaped of the jury.
Escaped.
Because she was like one of the last ones. But anywho, that was interesting.
Do you remember the episode of Modern Family where Gloria wants to be on the jury, but she keeps saying that she knows who's a liar and who's not, and so in her very loud Gloria voice, she just like, he's a liar, and then they think she's just being an asshole to get out, so they let her out.
That's funny.
It's a great episode, but anyway, hey Chris, thanks for doing your civic duty. Not enough people excited about such things. Well, hey Chris, do you want to break down the details of how this little thought experiment is going to go?
Okay, so what do the other avatars think of each other? We are going to go Avatar. We're going to look at Avatar 1. What does he think of Zero, Yanchin, Korra, Kyoshi, Roku, and Korra? And we're going to rate it kind of a scale of 1 to 3. 1 being they like them, 1 being they like them, 2 being they tolerate, 3 being they love them. And kind of what these avatars think of them based off of their actions, their attitude, their beliefs, just anything, I guess. And when I say hate, it's not like, oh, I hate you with the passion. More just like a dislike, but hate it's better.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a 1, 2, 3. It's a 3-point scale, yeah. Not an extremely detailed scale. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and then just for fun, we'll probably just say which avatar we think hate, or which avatar do they love the most or hate the most. Sure, some might be tied and like, oh, I love them all, but which one do they love the most?
Fair enough. Are you going chronological, or do you have a specific order in mind?
We'll go chronological. We'll start with Juan, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Let's roll.
All right, so I'll start off. I think Juan doesn't like Zero. I think he tolerates Yang Chen. No, I think he loves Korra. I think he loves Kyoshi, tolerates Roku, loves Aang, and I think he'll love Korra. I think he'll love Korra most because them two connected with Rava. I'm sorry, I don't think he'll love Korra the most. I think he loved Korra because they connected with Rava. But I think, personally, probably Aang he loves the most.
I think intention is going to be Juan's go-to. So I'm going to agree with everything you said. I think, except for, tolerate Kuruk. I think there would still be, when I say intention, I mean he's gonna love Yang Chen for being so well intended about doing her job the right way. I think he's gonna love Aang for being so well intended about being like a great airbender, like that, like sort of who they are as a person. Maybe not even Yang Chen as much. I do think Aang's the right answer. So I'm gonna agree with everything he said. I don't know that he would be quite as high on correct just from like the
Okay.
kind of pseudo secrecy. I would say I tolerate, but I'm not gonna die on that hill by any stretch. But I
Yeah.
have no major issues with anything he said, and I think just like I don't know that's what got Juan in there in the first place, and into his state was essentially just like the purest possible intentions, and that seems to line up really well with Aang.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they both have this kind of like this mischievous kind of trickster feeling to them both. A little lighthearted.
Mischievous and
Not
trickster.
not not
I agree
too
with what you're saying. I
serious.
would say it's almost too. That sounds negative. We don't mean it negative. We mean in that kind of
Yeah.
naive
Like
or
they're
childish to some degree.
yeah.
No, that's a good list.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to keep going first, or you want to go first on Zeto?
I'll go first on Zeto. I think.
All right.
So when I think of Zeto, I think Zeto is going to be pretty understanding of people's circumstances. I picture Zeto as a very intelligent creature and
Okay.
not ignorant, right? So even though Juan doesn't like Zeto, I think Zeto's fine with Juan, for example. I think Zeto's going to tolerate Juan, like, oh, I understand how this came to pass.
Yeah.
I think Zeto might be upset at Yang Chen for being so kind of political, or trying to play these random political games rather than
Oh,
sticking straight.
really? Okay.
I'm going to say
All right. So it was what is it on one?
Juan, I'm going to say tolerate. Yang Chen, I'm teetering between tolerate and hate. Give me a hate for now. Give me a hate.
Ooh, okay.
I know, it feels weird. I'm interested to hear your thought process there. Kyoshi was very...
Correct.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Kurek next. Ooh, Kurek. Oh, man. Is he not going to like Kurek either? Gosh, does he get to know Kurek's whole situation, right? Does he get to know what we know about Kurek?
They in this experiment, they all know everything.
Then yes, I'm going to go tolerate on Kurek. I'm going to go... Does he love Kyoshi or does he tolerate Kyoshi? He loves Kyoshi because she gets things done. And she does it for a really long time. And she's very straightforward for the vast majority of things. So I think he loves Kyoshi.
Okay.
You know what? He probably loves Roku too, mostly by the book, doing the job. What is he? Tolerates Aang. He'd want more Avatar, less Airbender from Aang. Does he tolerate on Aang? How does he feel about Korra? Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Give me a tolerate on Korra just because I haven't developed a thought process.
Give me a second. And my Excel went out because I'm using my work computer. But that's weird that it did this because I'm not even like connected to anything, but it just froze up. It said no, nothing for you.
That's weird.
Now that annoys me. Okay. This annoys me. You said tolerate on Korra?
I think tolerate just because I can't think of a good... Cool. Like, she does good work, but she also feels like there's a lot of different things balancing that he maybe wouldn't be fond of. So I'll go tolerate, yeah.
All right, so it was Korra was a...
If he gets to know the whole situation, he tolerates Kurek. Just out of respect.
Yeah, so Kyoshi was a 3?
I think
Roku was a 3.
I think a 3, yeah.
And you said Aang was a...
Gosh,
Aang was a what?
Does he hate Aang or does he tolerate Aang? I'm going to say tolerate. He wants more Avatar, less Airbender out of Aang, but he tolerates.
Who do you think is his favorite?
His favorite. I mean, is it cheap to say Roku? That's my gut instinct.
Okay, he would because he's a Fire Nation elitist.
Fire Nation, by the books. We don't hear about Roku trying to walk delicate political balance. He's just doing a job,
Yeah.
almost. The Avatar job.
All right. I'm going to disagree with you a lot of the first couple ones.
Well, that's fair.
I think Zeto hates Juan because he's way too go with the flowy stuff, but absolutely like no systems in line or anything like that. Granted, he's still understandable. Again, these are light hate. I think he loves Yang Chen because he's like, oh, Yang Chen took after me and she made all these deals and stuff, and like, sure, she wasn't like so pro Fire Nation, but she was like really working the system. Like, she's a very administrative avatar.
I'm not willing to go that far because she's like too far into the kind of the deceit in the actual political game where I don't think
Ooh,
Zeta goes.
yeah,
I'll
that's
meet
true.
you at tolerate, but I'm not willing to go to love. That's too strong.
Kyoshi, I think he hates Kyoshi
Oh, for
because
real?
Kyoshi doesn't give a crap about any of that stuff.
That's fair.
Kyoshi just like, what are this stuff, these rules and stuff? Screw that. Roku, he loves Roku. Aang, he tolerates Aang, and he tolerates Korra.
He seems like he would tolerate and not have extreme emotions in most cases. Honestly, like that feels like his mo.
Yeah.
He's a hard one to
So
figure out. Though. We don't have much to go off on him, so he's probably the hardest to think about.
that is true. I still think his favorite is Yang Chen.
That's weird to me because she doesn't play the political game the way that like in her mind like she's just doing whatever she can to try to cobble things together, and I don't think he'd see it that way.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. Yang Chen. Lion Chen by Yang Chen. So I think Yang Chen loves like most people. I think she's. I think Yang Chen would love Juan. I think she tolerates Zeto. I think she understands the the type of administrative things he put in, but doesn't really like being compared to him constantly and stuff.
That seems pretty reasonable.
Quirk, she tolerates Quirk. I think she loves Kyoshi. Maybe I only get that sense from when they talked at the end of the last Kyoshi novel. I think she just really understood where Kyoshi was coming from. Like almost like she wishes that she could have been Kyoshi in the sense that Kyoshi wasn't tied to like all this political drama stuff. Because Yankee doesn't love that. She just does it because it's a means sent in. Roku, sure, tolerate. Aang she loves Aang because like Aang is the truer Airbender that she wishes that she could be. Like Aang, Aang is the graceful pinnacle of air nomad that she strives to be herself, but she couldn't be. And I think she loves Korra. But I think her favorite is Aang.
I like that. I think as I'm going through the list, I think Yang Chen strikes me as a person who would be really light on the hate side, not just because she's an airbender, but just again the kind of a very thorough respect for what they're having to do. So I would say she'd be. What was your answer on Zato?
Two.
Two. I think that's fair. And then what was your answer for her on Roku?
Roku, it was a two.
Did you ever hate anybody?
No, not
Oh,
right anybody.
yeah. No, I don't think I have any qualms with that. I do think Aang would be her favorite. I like the way that you described the airbender she's never going to be, or that she's not able to be. I think I'm going to say a stretch here in that I feel like she would have a really soft spot for Korra just from like the personal kind of turmoil and challenges
Yeah.
that they would both face. But I don't think that changes the
Yeah.
answer for me.
All right, so what are you for one?
Oh, you're going through them all. Let me see. I think she would tolerate one. She would Tolerate Zeto. How'd you feel about Kyoshi?
Korra.
I always forget about Korra. Only tolerate there as well.
Okay.
It's tough because she would feel atrocious if she thought about like the spiritual ramifications. That Korra
Oh.
having a deal. She would feel
Yeah.
awful, but as a person, I'm gonna stick
Yeah.
with tolerate. I think she would love
Okay.
Kyoshi, tolerate Roku, love Aang, and love Korra. But I think she would love Aang the most. Let's say if you told her the whole thing about Korra, she would say she loved him just to like try to make things up.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay.
So am I
Interesting. Okay.
next on Korra?
Yes, Korra. So start with one and go from there.
I think Korra would love Juan. He'd love that kind of entrepreneurial, like
Yeah.
how it all got there. He would hate Zeto. I think that because it is
Absolutely.
a given. He
That is.
would.
That's probably. Yeah.
It's the Yang Chen Kuruk relationship is so interesting.
That's. Yeah. Like
I'm gonna go
those
tolerate
two.
just because how upset would he be that he had to do what he had to do, or would he be kind of chill about it, like, you know what, the world was a decent place because of her work? So I'm gonna say tolerate. I
Hmm.
interrupted you. I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
No, no. Keep. I'll get to it when I go to mine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. That's a fun but weird relationship to explore. I think he'd
Yeah.
love Kyoshi because she doesn't care. I think that would go well. I think he would hate Roku again. Not that we know a ton about Kuruk or Roku, but just thinking about the little bit uptight fire and water. I think he would hate Roku. How would he feel about Aang? You know what? I think him and
Hmm.
Aang would secretly actually just be pretty good friends. I'm gonna say love Aang. Give me a love on that one.
Oh, are you feeling like a Sokka Aang type of relationship vibe?
A little bit of a big brother kind of vibe going on, and then
Yeah.
even though like Aang having a good, fun, free spirit, even though he's an airbender and an avatar, right? He's got like the hardest job in the world, and he's an airbender, but he still finds a way to be kind of a free spirited kid. I think that Korra would appreciate that in a very special way, and then tolerate Korra. I think that his favorite would be Kyoshi or Juan. Would his favorite be Juan? Give me Juan. Let's go. Let's go different.
Okay. Nice.
You could talk me into Kyoshi though.
All right. I think he would love Juan. I agree with that. Hate Zeto. Um, tolerate Yang Chen. Like Yang Chen is almost like the older sister nagging him,
Fair enough.
but like personality wise, when it comes to like yeah, she left him crap to deal with the spirits, but
Yeah, and I just don't know
she
how
left
much we
him.
can factor because they all know it's a crap job.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Cork would uh probably love Kyoshi. He would hate Roku because those two just don't get along
It just makes
at
sense.
all. Oh, I was gonna say when it comes to Yang Chen and Cork, it's it's kind of that they don't seem to have a lot of stuff in common. I think they are like the big brother, big sister stereotypical you see on sitcoms where they fight, but like they're just different, but they just don't. They tolerate each other.
Really good
So yeah,
mutual respect, but like you wouldn't pick them. That's for sure.
yeah. I think he would love Aang, and I think he would love Korra. I think because Korra, there's that water child camaraderie, and Korra is probably the most like him in the sense of like, yeah, look at me. I want to. I'm cool with taking on anybody. You want to challenge me? You can challenge me. Like they're the big brother, big sister that I'm sorry, big brother, little sister that gets along. Like they're just they're not just like each other, but they have very similar things. I think he will love Korra the most.
There's something about Korra that I don't. I think it's like I'm picturing like the personality clash, even though they're kind of similar, but like a personality clash of like big. What do you call it? Big egos, maybe the wrong word.
Egos.
Big personalities in the same room. So I had a little bit more of a clash vibe, but overall,
Okay.
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
All right.
Like they'd
All
be
right.
like the two most loudest people in the room. That's for sure.
Yeah. We're actually moving through these a lot faster than I thought. Mic check, mic check. All right. So
Good.
Kyoshi. Man, what would Kyoshi name on Juan? I think Kyoshi would tolerate Juan, hate freaking Zeto. Like if there was a zero, it would be there. Yang Chen, love Yang Chen, but it's kind of unfair there because like Yang Chen was almost like Korra's big. No, I'm sorry. Yang Chen was almost Kyoshi's big sister. Like after everything, Yang Chen sat down, talked to her, hugged her, told her, "You are special. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are everything you need to be." Uh, Kyoshi, I know Kyoshi understands what Korra was going through, but this is like the one time in history where another Avatar has vehemently hated another one, and so I still want to put a one here. No, I'm gonna put it as two. Never mind. Put it two because she did come to understand them. But there was
That's
a
too
point in
strong.
time where
That's
she
too strong.
did. Yeah, there was a point in time where she did hate Quirk. Like didn't want to see his stupid beard wearing polar bear dog head looking whatever. All the bad names in the world. Kyoshi hates freaking Roku. Like, I'm sorry, Kyoshi hates freaking Roku. Like, Kyoshi went through everything to like fix Quirk's issues that weren't his fault, and then she's just looking down like, you mother effer. Like, I lived 230 years because I didn't want the world to go into chaos, and you effed it all up. Genocide happened on your watch. I hate you. Hope you die.
Yeah, I feel
So
like
the
there would
next
be some
person can't take
contention.
over for you.
I feel like there would be contention there. That's for sure.
I think she'll tolerate Aang and love Korra. And out of all those, it's between Yang Chen and Korra who she would love most. I I think she will love Korra the most, and this isn't sexist, but like both of them are. Well, I guess it's not necessarily confirmed if Kyoshi was bisexual. But both of them are are gay, trying to live their trying to get through life in these relationships, which can be taboo to some, but also trying to balance the whole world in their own fingertips. So I think she might would love Korra the most, but man, I could see her loving Yang Chen the most also, just because Yang Chen was there for her in that one little moment.
That, yeah. Um, I feel like Kyoshi. We know that she lives for 220 years, but we only get the small slice that we know a lot about. I always wanted, like, all right, what if we were talking about 200-year-old Kyoshi as opposed to current Kyoshi? But regardless, give me a tolerate on one. Hates Zeto. Tolerate Yang Chin.
Ooh, okay.
Hates Kuruk. I'm going with the Kyoshi that we know. Hates Kuruk.
Okay.
Um, not older, mature Kyoshi that like I understand what we had to do. Um, hmm. Does she really hate Roku or does she just not care? What is that like? I don't know. I don't even know what to base that off of. I'm gonna go with tolerate. I don't have a good opinion there. I'll stick with tolerate Roku. I think she likes Aang. I think she loves Aang. No, but does she? No, she doesn't. She only tolerates Aang. She only loves Korra.
Ooh.
That's it. She only loves Korra.
That's funny.
That is weird. But I
Uh,
think it's that. I think it's the part of Korra that is a little removed from how most other people care or act or behave or think about her.
yeah.
That makes it hard for me to think like, oh, she would get along great with that person or whatever. It's like, she'd probably be fine. Um, yeah, I think Cora's the only one I see her like that would be her buddy. That would be her pal. Which is also the built-in answer to the next question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Charlie, you chiming in? Charlie has opinions as well. Okay, fun. Let's talk about Roku.
Avatar Roku. Where are we at on time? I'm just curious.
We're at 35 minutes. We're doing good,
Oh,
doing
okay.
appropriate.
Cool.
And
Cool.
both mics still work. That's pretty exciting. Roku, I'm going to treat pretty similarly to Zeto, but I'm going to say maybe he's a little less stiff, a little less upright.
Okay.
But I don't even know if that's founded or not. Gosh.
No, but I understand your point in that.
It's just, there again, it's because we know so little about Zeto. But anyway, so give me a tolerate on Juan. He loves Zeto. That relationship works both ways. Like, hey, good Fire Nation comrade. The red humor there for you. How does he feel about Yang Chen? Tolerates. It's close to hate for the way that she sort of handles political things, but I'll say tolerate. Korra. I think he hates Korra. Like that ain't how you be an Avatar, son. Tolerate Kyoshi. How does he feel about Aang? That's tough because they have a kind of existing relationship.
Yeah.
You know what? Is there a weird level of respect that he has for Aang? The way that Aang acts, again, kind of respectful to his nationality. Like he's an air nomad first, almost an Avatar second, or at least strikes a very good balance. I'm gonna say he loves Aang. I'm gonna go out on a limb, go crazy. I might be biased just because of the in-show relationship. And he tolerates Korra. I'm going to say that he loves Zeto the most for the same reasons, but I'm Aang a pretty close second.
Zeto actually got to love most. So I didn't think he would get it.
But
definitely want to be from Roku.
I'm so biased because we see Roku and Aang in the show. Like, that's the thing that goes like, of course he loves Aang. But would he love a diplomatic Fire Nation guy first? Like, probably.
Yeah. I'm very close. I think I'm very close with you here. Tolerate for Juan, for Roku. Roku tolerates Juan. He loves Zeto. He tolerates Yang Chen. Probably doesn't like some of the scheming she does. He hates Korra. He
I
tolerates.
Kyoshi a little tough as well, but I think I settled on tolerate.
Yeah, tolerates Kyoshi. He loves Aang and tolerates Korra. I think we are absolutely the same.
Except on who he loves the most?
Yeah, who do I think he loves the most? I would agree with you. I think Zeto. I think, like, Zeto would be, like, I mean, so Kobe has said before that Magic Johnson was a person who was a player he loved most, but I think it was Jordan. Like, I think you just said, like, like there are videos you can watch where Kobe's doing the exact same maneuvers, everything. Like, it is just like watching a shadow. Like, and for Roku, I think Roku probably idolized Zeto. So like Roku saw Zeto, was like, oh, that's the way to be the Avatar. So yeah, I think he likes Zeto the most.
This seems pretty reasonable to me.
Yeah. All right, Aang. This is gonna be interesting because I don't think Aang hates anybody.
I don't think he's got it in his capacity.
Let me see.
I mean, he's literally picking up the mess
I got
of
one.
the guy who caused the 100-Year War, who let the 100-Year War happen. He's picking up his mess, and we're just like, that guy loves him.
Yeah, that's true. Let me see here. Okay, Aang loves Juan. He tolerates Zeto. He loves Yang Chen. Loves Yang Chen. I think he even loves Quirk. Like, he's
Is he so blinded by his love of waterbenders?
Yeah. All right, but here it is, though. And this is the hate with a quotation. He hates Kyoshi. Doesn't want to hear her advice or anything. Like,
bitch kills
even
everybody.
when...
That's messed up.
Even Aang has a preconceived notion, a negative reaction to Kyoshi. Like, when he asked her for the advice, and she pretty much told him kill the Fire Lord. He was like, I knew I shouldn't have asked Kyoshi, meaning I
It's
already
not the first
didn't
time that
agree.
happened.
Yeah, like I knew I wouldn't like what she was gonna say. I knew I wouldn't like what she was. Okay. Uh,
Accurate.
when it comes to Roku, um, he does love Roku, but again, that's hard because we've seen that. Like we've seen him talk to Roku. And Aang absolutely loves Korra. I know they're different in a lot of ways, but he loves her not necessarily just because of character. Like he probably tolerates her character, but he loves what Korra means to his family, his personal family, and also she brought back the Airbenders. He loves Korra. I think he loves her the most.
I think that's fair. It feels like a little bit of like a weird
There's
advantage, but like that's the reality of how it would probably
it, it's
work out.
a it is a huge advantage. It absolutely is. Like she's playing with his grandkids.
Yeah.
Like she has a very personal relationship
She's
with
also
his son.
fostering the rise or the like the repopulation of airbenders in general,
Yeah,
right? She would get brownie points for that.
yeah.
I agree with everything you said 100% except for that. I would say I don't think he has his capacity to hate. Like even he would see that Kyoshi was acting as best as she knew how as an earthbender and an avatar. And Roku, I'm going to say love because we see the relationship, but not it doesn't work as strong as like he doesn't like his Roku's responsible in a small way for the death of his people. So I'm actually going to flip and say let's put Roku at a tolerate, right? And still
Okay,
sentimental about it. So I would flip Roku and Kyoshi to tolerates, and I would
cool.
think that Aang. Who does he love more? Does he love the person who babysits his grandkids and brings airbenders back into the world, or does he love a fellow? You know what? I'm gonna say Korra because Yang Chen's not as diligent in Airbender. I'm gonna say that he loves
Yeah,
Korra for all the sentimental reasons and the timeline reasons.
cool. All right, we're on to the last one. Avatar Korra. Take it, Shawn.
Oh, it is my turn. Korra, as we know, is very capable of hating people. So this is opposite of Aang. She, gosh, does she love one?
I know, right? Like,
No, she tolerates Juan because so far she's had kind of a difficult run because she is the Avatar and her relationship with past lives is a little sketchy. So I'm going to say tolerate. She's not extra
okay.
fond that Juan had to do what he did. So tolerate. Uh, she doesn't have a good reason to hate Zeto.
Again, this is just
Yeah,
hate.
personality. Uh, I guess she doesn't. She tends to not get along great with political folks. So give me a hate there.
Mm.
I don't have a great reason for it, but that type of person, if he's anything like President Ryko or whatever, which he's probably not, but that's going down negative
Yeah,
air quotes.
I don't think he's that bad.
Yeah, he can't be. Gosh, that's tough. No, you're right. You gotta tolerate. She tolerates Zeto. Yang Chen. How does she feel about Yang Chen? She loves Yang Chen for trying her best to play the game. Tough job. She has the full context of the Kuruk story. She loves Kuruk. She gets it. I mentioned earlier, kind of what do you call it, button heads. But you kind of won me over in that regard that they would like have a respect for each other, and I think she would have a great appreciation for what he sacrificed. How does she feel about Kyoshi? She loves Kyoshi. She loves the the kind of badass willingness to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, there's some other sentimental parallels there too. That's great. She hates Roku for essentially being responsible in some small way for the 100-Year War. She doesn't have the sentimental ties Aang does, so she only has the
That's true.
reality ties.
That's true.
And she loves Aang because of the familial relationship there. So I said that she's very capable of hate, but I think I marked her down as hating Roku.
Yeah, she loved a lot.
But
She might have loved the most. She might have the most threes.
well,
No, never
we
mind.
talk about it a lot. She's experienced so many trials that she would have maybe the most empathy, at least from the evidence that we have, for the challenges that every
Yeah.
other avatar has faced. I feel like she'd be extremely empathetic to all of them. If there's one, I would kind of sort of like, I said it and then I started thinking about it again. Maybe she wouldn't love Yang Chen that much for digging kind of too deep into the political part
Mm.
and attacking that side, but I'm gonna stick with my gut instinct. I don't have a good reason to back off.
Okay. So who she loved most?
Aang, love Aang.
Although, we didn't go through and say who we thought they hated most. Maybe we'll do that later.
We could
Okay.
definitely flip that, yeah.
For what's she think about Juan? I mean, she didn't want to say like, man, Juan was amazing. Like she said that when she talking to Janora about him. But for some reason, I don't know. Besides that one statement, I'm still going with the tolerate. Zeto absolutely hates Zeto. They don't get along at all. You talking about old grumpy man with a young kind of teenage girl? Nah, it's not. They're not getting along. Yang Chen, I think she loves Yang Chen. Quirk, I think she loves Quirk. Like they get along and stuff really well. Um, both kind of cut from the same cloth, kind of deal. Kyoshi absolutely loves Kyoshi. Roku, hmm, nah, she hates Roku. I'm just and and Aang, I
Mulled
think
it
she
over
loves
for a
Aang.
minute. Didn't change.
Yeah. The one she loves most, I would say, is Kyoshi.
I can respect that. Chris, do you want to go back through and
Yeah.
do hate most?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I'll go through and do mine real quick.
Yeah, sure.
For Avatar 1, I think he hates Zeto the most. This is a little easier now because I
Poor
have numbers
Zeto.
here.
Yeah.
Zeto, yeah. Zeto hates. It's between Quirk and Kyoshi. Oh, and Juan. Dang, I had Zeto down for a lot of hate. I
Well, yeah, I mean,
think he hates Quirk the most. No, he hates Kyoshi the most because Kyoshi just didn't even try the political stuff that he set up. Yang Chen hates Zeto the most, but that's even then. It's not like this is a two, but she still tolerates him. But I don't have Yang Chen hating anybody. Quirk hates Zeto the most. Just completely different. Kyoshi hates Roku the most because he effed everything up she built. Roku hates Quirk the most. For me, Aang hates Kyoshi the most because those two just different ideologies. And Korra hates Roku or Zeto. Going with Roku because there was just some stuff left over that he didn't deal with, and like you said, she doesn't have that same connection that Aang has.
I don't remember everything you said specifically, but I remember everything you saying sounded good to me. Juan hates Zeto, like the opposite of what Juan had in mind initially. Zeto hates
Okay.
Quirk, very
Oh, you
opposite.
have did you have Korra at a 2 or 1?
For who?
So Zeto, yeah, Zeto tolerating Korra.
Who do I have Zeto hating? I don't know if I
Yang
have
Chen.
Yang Jin.
Maybe I got that confused.
No, I think you're right because we kind of thought opposite ends on Yang Chen, where like Zeto plays a very upright political game. Yang Chen just is like really grasping at straws, just trying to pull things together. She's not delegating well. But then after we had talked, and I don't know if you recorded it or not. It's not your job to record every weird random change of mind I have. But you kind of swayed me into the other way, and I ended up moving Yang Chen into like a tolerate territory.
Oh, okay.
It's really hard to imagine him liking Korra, even though I think respect for trying to do the job that he was given, but I don't think he would like his attitude or the way that he perceived being the Avatar. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Who does Yang Chen hate the most? Yang
It's
Chen.
between Juan, Zeto, Korik, Roku.
I think Yang Chen hates Zeto the most. Again, for kind of the flip side of the reasons I gave for maybe Zeto hating Yang Chen of like
Yeah.
he makes it look so easy, and I'm just here trying to make everything possible, giving up my heritage and all that just to try to make it
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
But my second choice would be Roku for Fire Nation reasons. Who does Korra hate? Zeto. Yeah, fine. Yeah, Korra hates Zeto the most. Poor Zeto. I can't decide though. Like every time I say Zeto, I think or Roku. You know, like does he hate? But that impacts Korra less, so I'll go backwards. Kyoshi. She hates. Who does she hate the most? Did I have her down hating anybody? I feel like I had a few.
Zeto and Korik.
Does she hate Korra? You know what? I don't think she would be all that forgiving of Korra. I'm going to stick with that answer.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think she would be horribly forgiving of Korra, like for maybe not handling things as well as it did, and then landing her.
He
in
didn't
her
tell his friends.
Yeah, and that landed her in the place that she wound up and with her early challenges. So I don't think she would be terribly forgiving. Roku hates. I suppose Kyoshi. Kyoshi or Kurek. Kurek. Roku hates Kurek.
Yeah, that's the only one you got down for. For.
That feels
Dang,
right.
I can't think.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Aang hates. I just can't get all the way on board that. Like
It's not that he hates the
ideologies
people, but
like Kyoshi. Yeah, I know it's tough. Let me think about Aang a minute. I'll come back to that. Korra, I only had Korra hating one person. I don't really remember who it was. Korra hated
Roku.
She did hate Roku. Yeah, that sticks. She hates Roku the most. Who does Aang hate the most? I didn't even have Aang hating anybody at all, did I?
No.
No. Okay.
The
So
only ones you got him at twos: Zeto, Kyoshi, and Roku.
So he is gonna hate. Who does the least? Who does like the most disrespect to their nation with their actions, with their maybe Kuruk if I had to like pick, but I don't know. That's tough. Gosh dang it, Aang, you're so loving. Give me Kuruk just for kind of the, but that gosh, they seem like they'd be buddies, don't they? I feel like I'm being left with no choice but to go with Kyoshi. I see where you're getting with that. Like it's it's not a hate as much as it is. That's the option that is left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You had them as buddies. Yeah. You had
that's fine.
Aang would like
I
him.
feel like Kuruk and
Okay.
Aang would just be, they would just get
Yeah.
along.
Yeah. You had them at a low.
Yeah, that's fine. Give me Kyoshi.
Oh my gosh! I keep doing this on that.
I'm sad that I have to pick an answer though. Let's let the record show.
All right, let's do some math because I like math.
I think I know who the most hated is. It's one of two people.
Okay. How was I doing this math? Okay, so when it comes to scores, so I averaged out both of our scores for everyone, and I added everything together. So the most you can get, the most each individual avatar could get, because there's there's 7 other avatars, is a oh my gosh, I can't do math. Is a 21. Yes, because 7 times 3. So the highest score an avatar could get is 21. Would you like me to do them in order from least to? Yeah, let's do that. All right. So coming in at the least favorite. Oh, let me put this conditional formatting on this real quick because it just helps me. There we go. Dang it, did it the wrong way. No, it didn't. Did it the right way. Okay, from Coming in last at the most hated avatar from avatars is Zeto, 11.5. That's 11.5 out of 21. Coming up next is Roku at a 13. After that is Avatar Korra at a 14.5. Then Avatar Wan at a 16. Then Yingchen and Kyoshi ties for 17.5. And now it comes down to the final two. And, this is going to be like Miss America, right? Because you say the winner. The, the most beloved avatar to the avatars is Aang with 19 out of 21. Korra came in very close at an 18.5. So congratulations to Aang, which that doesn't surprise me at all because Aang is a very lovable
that fits.
person.
Yeah. Well, and he took both roles so very seriously that he's empathetic to both kind of types of it. He's empathetic to, or would be empathetic for your Rokus and Zetos, and the other, like nationality and avatar role. And he fights that balance very well, or at least he tries really hard to. So I think that makes him appealing to both parties.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
The one that got the most votes for that's not because I did that wrong. Oh my gosh, freaking hate. Didn't lock the problems. Rookie mistake. Dang it, I got Shift F4 on this thing. I'm hitting Shift F4. I don't. Oh, is it Control F4?
Control, right?
Oh my gosh, no, it's not. There's Control Shift.
No, it's just F4. No Shift, no Control, just regular F4.
Well, my thing is like, function.
If it's on a keyboard, the function. That's what it is. That way, yeah. This has been Excel Tips with Chris and Shawn. We hope you'll tune in next week to learn how to bring use API to bring ChatGPT into Excel. Thank you for listening.
All right, the one that got the most votes, Aang and Korra tied for between our votes for favorites. They both tied with 5. Does that make sense? Least favorite, probably no surprise, because that's how math typically works. Is that the least favorite? Dang it, I did this. Okay, 1 second. Oh my gosh. I hate this. No. Go. That wasn't supposed to be locked there. How the heck did that get there? Oh, never mind. There we go. I do love Excel. A lot of people in my job don't work at Excel. Like when they get some Excel, they're like, "Oh, why'd you go to Excel?" I'm like, Excel is great.
It does everything. Sometimes
the one with the most least votes is least favorite votes is Zeto with 5. Which again, that's not surprising. He came in last in our little thing. But this was
very not very well liked. That's fair.
Yeah.
Try harder, Zeto.
I'm surprised they don't have Kyoshi. It's funny because I think Kyoshi is probably like the fan. No, Aang is the fan favorite. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that all makes sense. Kyoshi's probably a fan favorite if you've read the novels, but I still think that's a small chunk. It's a much smaller group than people who have watched the show. So
it is interesting that Kyoshi and Yangchen tied with us at both having 17.5. I kind of like that.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. Chris, final thoughts?
I've been looking forward to this type of episode. I think the relationship dynamics between the avatars, like if they could all just sit together and talk, at a table, one of those I don't know, those remember when Kobe and Shaq, for another Kobe reference, sat down and had that interview together, and they just aired. They were already cool with each other, but they talked about it stuff
aired
publicly.
Out their dirty laundry a little bit.
Yeah, if all the avatars came together and did that, it was You left me with this. You left. It's like, and Kyoshi would be like, Roku, I effing hate you. I spent 230 years, and you go and have genocide happen on your watch. A whole fourth of the demographics wiped out. Who does that, Roku?
It took me forever. I would like to think that theirs would get more heated than Kobe and Shaq, who were upset at each other, but also were talking about basketball and not the fate of the universe. So I don't know. Yeah, it'd be great. Hey, if we're missing anything, let us know, or let us know your feelings. What are we not thinking about in terms of these very oddly existent, only in a forward context relationships? Isn't that weird to think like Korra knows all of them, but they don't all know Korra? You know what I mean? Isn't that weird to like think about? But anyway, yeah, let us know what we're not thinking about. Interested to hear your opinions. And come back.
Oh, do you think any of them would probably not look down on Korra that she lost that connection to them all?
Oh, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Like some of them would consider that like integral to being the Avatar. Whether that's
Probably.
true or not, right? But
Probably.
Some of them would,
I can see Zeto hating that, but I already had Zeto hating Korra as it was.
Zeto.
So.
I mean,
no, I had Zeto tolerating Korra. I don't know.
Roku to some degree, especially because that's such a big part of him and Aang's communication. Even Aang, if he were alive, would be like, "Holy crap, you lost your connection to the past lives." Like Aang's kind of a ceremonial, a guy to some degree.
Yeah, I don't think Kyoshi or Yang Chen would care. Like Yang Chen,
I don't.
I always go back to
Yang
when
she was past lives.
Oh gosh, Yang Chen is like, congratulations.
About time. I don't think she cares.
She's like, this ish is overrated. No one needs someone possibly taking over their bodies when they don't want to. Screw this noise. I'm out. Peace.
This benefits nobody. See you later. Yeah. So yeah, I think some of them would take offense. I didn't really think about that, but another topic for another time. Thanks for watching. My name's Shawn Shaler. That's Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. I'll put the details down in the description, like always. If you can spare us any kind of likes, comments, reviews, thumbs ups, thumbs downs,
do it now.
Whatever, whatever form of interaction.
Subscribe it.
We appreciate
review it.
All of it. Well, and you have to because Chris said so, and so yeah, you have to do it now. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
I watched the police come after me for talking about my jury duty.
Show up at your door.
I wasn't on the jury, so I don't think that counts.
That's what they all say, Chris.
Yeah. Bust through my door. Open up, Mr. Police.